Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo has just announced their newest bit of hardware that is going to be highly sought after, but also probably highly understocked. That's right, I am talking about the Super Nintendo Mini Classic Edition. And I saw this coming. I mean, the NES Classic Edition, as hard as it was to find, was highly sought after. And this thing, the Super Nintendo Mini Classic Edition, though boasting fewer games, looks to be an even more impressive package. However, is it going to be worth actually buying? Well, the answer is a very strong maybe. And today on SWPG, we're going to be going over why. The SNES Mini is coming out on September 29th in North America at a price point of $80 in the US and $100 in Canada, which is a bit more than the NES Classic cost. What comes in a package? Well, you get the system, you get two controllers that, unlike on the NES Classic Edition, cannot be used on a Wii U. No, the connectors are styled more after an actual SNES controller connector, and you get 21 games. Now, you get two controllers, yes, and that's certainly a boost over the NES Classic, which only came with one, and you had to buy extras for 10 bucks a pop. It has fewer games. The NES Classic Edition had 30, this one has 21. However, the games here more than make up for that price, I feel. You get games like Final Fantasy III, 6 if you're anywhere else in the world, Super Mario World, Super Metroid. One of my personal favorite games of all time, Mega Man X, is on there. And something that pretty much justifies the price all on its own is Earthbound, Nintendo's cult classic RPG that, while released on the Wii U eShop, most people didn't buy a Wii U, and cartridge versions go for upwards of $200. Now, yes, of course, it includes Nintendo's hit game Star Fox, but even more impressive, for the first time in history, Nintendo is releasing Star Fox 2, a game that was 95% complete, but not actually released back in the day. But I guess Nintendo was like, you know what? It's mostly complete, let's just fix up the last few bugs, and then they're putting it out on this SNES Classic Edition. Now, of course, ROM files of this game have been available for years and years, but this is the first time Nintendo themselves has made this game available. Which I guess technically means that in 2017, Nintendo is officially releasing a new Super Nintendo game. I mean, it's one that was finished back in the day, but they're just now releasing it, and that's just kind of crazy to think about. The second thing you should consider, though, is availability. Nintendo has a real problem with actually stocking stuff. With the NES Classic Edition, I really wanted one, even though, yes, you can get a RetroPie, put all those games on there. It's an official Nintendo re-release of a classic console, and it just looks so cool. I only know a couple people who actually managed to pick up an NES Classic Edition. I don't know how they managed to actually do it. So the real question is, I guess, isn't so much of whether you should buy it or not, but if you can. And do you want to deal with the hassle of trying to get your hands on one? For $100 in Canada, you could probably get a Super Nintendo and one or two decent games. And yes, you get original hardware, but with this, you get something that's still official, but has all the games, has extra controllers, and if you can find one, it's going to be a great collector's piece. So the answer is, if you can find one, and if Nintendo actually gets together with stocking, then yes, you should absolutely buy the SNES Classic Edition. So there you go, that's it for today's episode of SWPG. What do you think about the SNES Classic Edition? Will you be trying to pick one up if Nintendo can actually stock it on Amazon or at GameStop or EB Games or Game if you're in the UK? Leave your comments and thoughts about that down below. If you feel so inclined, why don't you drop this video a like, and why don't you subscribe to us to stay tuned for more great content. So with that, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you next time. So this was an interesting angle. So funny thing about this entire video, I had the camera attached to this tree right here, so I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. That's a little cool behind the scene thing for all of you watchers over there and at home, I guess.